Welcome to another episode of Big Ego Media. Got a special guest, goes by the name of K9. How you doing today, bro?
I'm good, my brother. I'm blessed, man. Can't complain. Life's good, man.
Good journey down?
Yeah, you know, not too far, man. Man's still local. Not in the ends right now, but still local.
Yeah, I hear it. So talk us through where you're from and where you grew up and your family background.
Well, I'm from East London, Hackney, Clapton, Gilpin Square to be specific, is where I grew up. Clapton Park Estate. My background's a Caribbean background. Bayesian, Dominican, Jamaican, and yeah, born here. Parents are born here as well, but grandparents born in the Caribbean. So
Okay. So I had some on the other day here from the other side of Clapton Square, but both lower Clapton. 'Cause I used to think, being from South, I used to think Square is Square. But did you have I think they're called Mother Square.
yeah, there's a Mother Square, and then there's a Gilpin Square.
So did you go by Gilpin Square or you just go by Square?
We just go by Square, but people who know it will know it as Gilpin Square as well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And was there kind of tension in those two areas, or
No. Do you know what? At one point there was, like growing up, there was a little tension between Mother Square and Square, but mostly for the predominant of it, it was cool. Yeah, man's been cool with the mothers a lot. They're people there.
So talk us through childhood. Who did you live with?
Childhood, it's always been mum, you know. Mum, my dad was never really around, partially around. One point, me and my mum didn't get on, and then I lived with my nan for a bit. But mostly it's been mum and my little bro.
And how do you think that's kind of affected you? Because I see it, and I always kind of stress on this, like 95% of the people I interview, it's always just mum and dad wasn't there. How do you think that kind of affected you?
It definitely has its effects, man. I think more that I'm older, in hindsight, you realise how important it is to have a father figure in the home. You know what I mean? I'm a father myself. I've got 5 kids, so I know the importance of having a father about, man. Definitely.
Yeah. And with that, is it a thing that where you and your father are able to have a grown relationship and conversation where you kind of challenge him and say like, well, one kind of thing?
Do you know what? His absence was pretty early on in my life, so I think by the time I got old enough, I just made a decision that I didn't really want anything to do with him.
Yeah.
I didn't really see him making efforts with my kids or anything like that, so I just kind of cut him off. I even made a song about it still. So
Okay. Let us know the track. We'll definitely listen to that.
Yeah, called Letter to Pups, man. Yeah, man. So,
Okay. So how was your kind of behaviour in school and as a young person living at home with just mum?
My behaviour in school, starting in primary, was pretty good, man. I was a good kid, likeable. I was always a smart kid. I think as I progressed into secondary school, by year 8, I was just on badness, like just being a bit problematic in class and stuff like that. But what kind of got me through was I was quite academic, so even though my behaviour was bad, I managed to get work done, and that's what gave me a lot of the chances to keep going through. So yeah.
So what was your ambition though? What did you want to be growing up?
Funnily enough, I wanted to be an architect, you know.
Okay.
I was good at like art, and I was good at like graphic design. So I thought, when I make that building, I could design that building, and that's originally what I wanted to do, but ended up going down a different path. So yeah.
So when would you say was that early transition for you from being quite academic into the roads pulling you in?
I guess it was just when I started being outside, or when my mum moved to Clapton Park Estate, because I used to originally live in Dalston, near Holly Street, in between Holly Street and London Fields. But that was really younger days where I wasn't really allowed outside and stuff like that. So by the time my mum moved to Clapton and I was outside, I think being on the estate and just, you know, getting involved in certain things and knowing certain people, that was a transition that was made still.
Yeah. Do you remember kind of your first kind of acts of criminality?
Yeah. When I look back, it was probably something like the phone robbery stuff. I've always just been a hustler, to be fair. So I started like shotting early, to be fair. You know, I was young and got involved in the hustling side of the stuff rather than just like doing any crimes. So it was money motivated for me. So Yeah.
And with that, was there like an older on the block say, yo, young G, I like you, here, hold this pack, or how did it kind of?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it was like that. You know, like when you're older now, you can see it as, boy, oh, you might have been being groomed or something. But like back
Do you
then,
see it as grooming?
I didn't, you know, because I was really willing.
No, now, when you go back.
There's an aspect of grooming it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I work with kids, so I understand there's an aspect of grooming in it. I didn't see it as that then. And even now, because I know how willing I was to do it and to get money, you know, you can only be groomed so much if you. So it's only more grooming if you're not willing, I feel like, or you're being exploited. So
I'll play devil's advocate. Let's switch it around. Let's say it's a girl getting groomed into prostitution, but she's willing because she wants to make money. And then the older guy.
It's grooming. It is grooming.
Why do you think that it is such a thing that people would rather say it for women and they don't really say it for men? Is it because a man's meant to be a man?
I don't know. I think for women maybe there might be an aspect of seeing like more vulnerability.
Yeah.
And it's more of an exploitation. Where with men it's probably like, well, you've made that decision. You stand on that decision. Even though you are young and you might be 16, you're still standing on that decision to what you're doing. So yeah, man.
What school did you go to?
So my primary school, I went to a school called Holy Trinity in Dalston. And in secondary school, my mum said, boy, I don't want you going to school in Hackney. So she sent me to a school in Waltham Forest called Holy Family. I went Holy Family in Walthamstow. And I got kicked out of that school. And then I went to like a PRU unit for a bit. But like I said, I was really smart. So the teachers in the PRU unit, I went to a George Mitchell PRU unit, and the teachers in the PRU unit could see I was pretty smart. And they reassigned me into another school, because when you're in PRU, the highest GCSE you can get, I think, is like a C grade.
Okay.
And they could see that I had potential to do more and stuff like that. So I got reinstated back into mainstream school, into a school called Lammas in Leighton, which was like a new school. So I done my last couple of years there. Also got kicked out of that school. Got kicked out of that school as well, but they let me come back to do my GCSEs and all that, and I done that, and then moved on to college and all that. So yeah, man.
So you went to college. What was you trying to do? What you trying to be? And was you kind of did you guys? Would it be that you guys called yourself a gang? Would it be like the Square Boys? Is it something that you guys went by?
Yeah, it's been Square before I was there. You know what I mean? Square's got a history, a generation before me and before the guys who are older than me. So it was kind of like you just fall in line. There might, you know how it is on a state. There might be 100 man on a state, but there's different divisions, and certain man, mess with other man, and certain man don't mess with other man. That's how it goes. But yeah, we were Square man. That's what it was. Yeah. That's what it is.
So going to college, what were you trying to study?
So college, I went first. I went Epping Forest College, and I went to do a BTEC in drama. I went to do a BTEC in drama because I've always been a creative guy, creative arts guy, music, acting, all that stuff. So I went to do a BTEC in drama. Got kicked out. And then I appealed it. Yeah, won my appeal, got let back in, and then finished that. And then I left that, and I went to Redbridge College to do construction. And from there, that was my path. I started doing construction. I worked in construction for about 10 years. So I've always been kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Even though I've been doing my thing, but always worked there and there. Had a range of jobs, to be fair. Do you know what I mean?
In regards to kind of music, then, what was the kind of first kind of sound you was listening to growing up in the household?
Oh, it's got to be like the revivals, reggaes, rare grooves. Funny enough, stuff that man listen to now. The stuff that you couldn't stand that your parents played. Man's running it now to my youths, like, do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, those were the first sort of musics. And I think my mum bought me my first rap album, which was like a Jay-Z album. I think it was the Blueprint album she bought me. I don't know why she thought Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Just randomly got me a Jay-Z album, and I started listening to rap, a lot of American rap. And then as for UK, I guess it was just more like the garage, grime stuff, things like that. That's when I started like picking up my pen.
What age was you when you picked up your mic?
Probably about 13, 14.
Was you doing grime at the time as well?
Yeah, I was doing grime at the time.
Everyone, it's crazy because everyone of our kind of generation, even those who are rappers now, went through that, I guess that ritual of going through Grime first.
Yeah.
And these new kids of this age would never know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that kid, I think his name's RB or R9 or something like that. He's starting to kind of get back into the Grime thing.
Grime is our music, man. You know what I'm saying? Like rap, debatable. Americans that started over there or wherever, and you know what I'm saying. Grime is something we can actually claim it's UK based. So it's everyone. You'd be surprised how many rappers I know that's done Grime or listened to Grime or rate Grime MC. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Do you remember your first bars?
It was probably like some Egypt ones, like enter your phone number into my Nokia, something like that. You know, like them.
Everyone used to rap like that. I had those bars as well.
Crazy bars, like you get me. Hackney. I think I used to just like, spell my name out and K to the N-I-N to the E and things like that. Yeah.
I mean, where did the name K9 come from?
K9, boy, where did it come from? So I used to be in this crew in school, and they were called like Young Demons, yeah, and a crew called Raw Them, and we used to like join the crew, and everyone had a name and demon at the back of their name. So my name was actually K9 Demon, yeah, but I didn't like the whole demon thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just dropped the demon thing, and it was just K9, and I've had it from young, and it's one of them names that. It's quite a popular name. There's so many other artists called K9 or so many other people that I've come across called K9 along my way. And I've tried to change it sometimes, go by 9 kilos, K this or K that, but it's just K9 that sticks with me. That's my name, so that's what it is, man. That's what people know me by.
I hear it. So when do you feel like you kind of made a transition into rap? Is it when that whole everyone done the switch, same era for you?
Do you know what I've always done a bit of both, but I was just predominantly known in the grime world. But I've always rapped, and I was a part of a crew called Hoodfellas, which is most of them are from Northwest London, some of them from East, some of them from Northwest London, and we done both. You know what I'm saying? It was more of like, man's an artist, man's not a grime MC, man's not a rapper, man's just an artist. Man can do any tempo. I've always been good at any tempo, like, do you know what I mean? So. But now it's just like I'm pushing rap to forefront rather than the grime thing. But I'll still do a grime track there and there, and I've got features with grime MCs and stuff coming.
I remember the first time I used to come to Hackney to go to that Palace Pavilion and see. So some of that Palace Pavilion where it was kind of upper Clapton, or low, just to forget that it's lower Clapton. But could anyone go there?
Yeah, Palace P was like...
Because like now that I know the kind of the landscape of Hackney, because before I didn't know, I have events I invite everyone from Hackney, not being from around here. But like people, so could it be someone from London Fields go there and Homerton go there?
But you'd have to go with your clique. And the dramas that are now are not necessarily the dramas that were back then. Okay. You know what I mean? Like it was different generations, different people. So mostly it was cliques though. If you're gonna go to a Palace P on Lower Clapton, you're going with your squad. You're not just gonna go 2-man up and do you know what I mean? And then even for the MCs, like the MCs who were performing, they're going squadded up as well. Like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it was fun times still. Those are like my first days, like out raving, young man standing, bigger fish, Stampede, like Rampage, like loads of Stratford Rex, like all them dances there still. Yeah, man.
So in terms of like Hackney in itself, did you ever feel that you was at the point that where you was safe at all times, or was it thing that where as you start to get involved and no one being from a certain area, would you start to get sort of issues with people from different areas? Or did you ever inherit beef?
So like naturally growing up, like I grew up like knowing that Hackney didn't mess with Tottenham. Like the Hackney and Tottenham thing weren't that. But that didn't really affect my generation, I feel like. the generation before me. But we grew up hearing that. Like as I grew up, I know a lot of Tottenham man. I'm cool with Tottenham man. There's no issues like that. But growing up, it was Hackney and Tottenham, don't go Tottenham, stuff like that. That's the stuff that we heard. In terms of inheriting beef, man didn't really inherit beef. Any beef man had was man's beef, and a lot of the beef was guys man know. Maybe guys from other ends that man linked up with. Like in my generation, there was a lot of like link up crews and you know, this ends will link with that ends and then become one ends, and then after a certain amount of time, these man don't fuck with each other no more, and you know what I'm saying? That's how the beef starts. So I didn't really inherit beef. Anything, any problems man had was man's own problems, really. You know what I'm saying?
And in regard to those problems, any issues arise where you could have lost your life, or?
Probably so, but you don't deep it. Then a lot of the crazy situations you go through, it's just norm. Because you're living that life, it just becomes norm. But I do remember one. I do remember one story. Like I remember, I was out for the day with my mum. Gone to see family in South London, so I went on the block the whole day. And I come back to the block later in that evening, about 7, 8 p.m. It was night time. I remember it was dark, and I thought I'm gonna go to the block quickly, see who's on the block, check up on man them. And it was late already. I missed the day. I might as well just went home or whatever. But I thought, let me go to the block, see what I got. So I'm on the block chilling. There's only about 4 or 5 man out. We're on the block chilling, whatever, on the corner shop. I've taken a look to the right, and I've seen about 30, 35 pedal bikes. Yeah, about 100 meters away on the other side, 35 pedal bikes just rolling up. And I've looked at the man and everyone's looked at each other, and we know what time it is right now. And I remember saying to someone like, who's got what on them or whatever, you get me? And I remember we just, no one moved the radic or nothing. We just walked around the corner slowly. As soon as man got the corner, boom, gone. I remember saying to myself, bruv, by the time these man get to this corner, I've got to be out of sight. You know what I'm saying? I've got to be out of sight. Man can't see which direction I'm going or whatever. And I remember seeing my brethren, I was with a brother from Fields. I remember seeing him hop the fence. And he's shorter than me. He's small, and he just hopped one big fence. And I said to myself, Ross, if he can hop that fence, man can hop that fence. And I just hopped the fence. And I remember hopping the fence, and I remember just creeping down, keeping low, thinking, oh my days, it's bare bikes. Yeah. And if any one of these bikes catch man right now, man's in problems, that kind of thing, you get me? And I remember us laughing, me and the brothers laughing, yeah. But this ain't a laugh, laughing. This is a fearful laugh, this is you know what I'm saying? A nervous laugh, and we're laughing. And I just remember hearing bikes going past, non-stop. Not just that couple bikes. It was a long trail of bikes going past, thinking, fuck, you know. But yeah, man got out of that situation still. I've had a few little little shootings and mad stuff, you know what I'm saying? Mad stuff going on.
And with that made you want to kind of say, let me change my life now, or what kept you involved in that lifestyle?
I guess there's a few aspects that keep you involved, like, you know what I'm saying? You build relationships, your brethrens, like loyalty, you know what I'm saying? Just getting money, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of aspects that keep you in it, but I guess for me what really changed was I caught a mad case because I was doing some shotting stuff in Reading and all that. I was trapping up in Reading. I caught a mad case in 2018.
I mean, talk us through it, what happened and how did you get apprehended?
Boy, I was jugging hard, man. I was in Reading for like 2.5 years clean, 3 years clean, just cleaning. Started from the bottom up there, doing my thing till my line was doing 2 bag a day, 3 bag a day. A bag a day is a bad day. You get me? I was cleaning up, me, myself, 10 toes, no soldiers, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what got me bagged. Like, just really being too hands-on, I think. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And yeah, got myself bagged.
Was you under obo or just a chance encounter?
Do you know what? Yeah, I think, do you know what? So I went, at the time, I went up with 2 coldies, two of my brothers. Went up with 2 coldies there, and we got apprehended still, just lacking, just being too comfortable, too complacent. Do you know what I'm saying? Man know the thing too much and just feel like, yeah, man's got this. And sometimes when you're with people, you're less focused as well, you get me? When you're by yourself, you're just on job. But because I was with my brothers and them, probably felt a bit more relaxed, and man was too complacent. Man got bagged anyway.
You on the sport, or you come to the bando, or?
Yeah, just on road, in the car, on road. Found what they found, man got bagged, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I bust that case still, luckily. Yeah. Me and my coldies had a certain story. Yeah. They were trying to get man on a certain charge, but I got let off with just a possession charge. Yeah. And yeah, man, for me, that was my enlightenment. That was my enlightenment for me to say, you know what? Come on, man. You ain't been jail. You've never been to jail. You don't want to go now. This was a close shave. Switch it up. You know
And that's a rarity for someone who kind of lives the lifestyle to have never gone to experience jail.
That's one of my like my things. Like, bro, you've never been jail.
Yeah.
You've never been jail. So if you've never been, why would you jeopardize going at this big age
Yeah,
when you ain't gone at 18,
long.
19, 20? Yeah, it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was my enlightenment. And you know what? I on that case, I was proper like, oh, I don't want to go to jail. I prayed on it. Like, I prayed to the Most High, like, come get me through this one, please. If you get me through this one, I swear that, and I'll pattern up. You get me? And he got me through. So I can't not go back on my word now. You know what I'm saying? And just go straight back to the trap and all that. I said, nah, man, I got to pattern up. Man got me through. He asked and then received. So do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Spike Lee. So yeah.
I mean, talk us through what you're doing now.
Well, I'm a deputy manager of a children's care home right now. I work with young people, which is, yeah, it's been a long journey getting to that position, to be fair. Like,
I mean, how first and foremost, how did you start over there, and how did the progress come for you to become deputy manager?
Well, I started off, someone gave me an opportunity. It's funny, you know, music actually got me working with young people. Do you know what I'm saying? So obviously I'm known for music, and I got reached out to, by a brother called Carl, who is the CEO of a clothing label called Show Love London. You might know him, Show Love London. He's been around for a long time, Show Love. So he reached out to me and was like, you know what, brother, like, I like what you're doing. I like your music. I like, you know, some of the messages you're giving in your music. How do you feel about being a mentor? And I was like, boy, yeah, I don't know, why not? He goes, yeah, man, I introduce you to this woman. She's a CEO. She's got this company. She'll train you how to be a mentor. You can work with kids, all that stuff. So I gave it a go. I met the CEO. She liked me. That's a company called the Mentoring Lab. And they trained me up to be a mentor. And I was teaching music, which was easy for me because that's what I do. I do music. So I was just teaching them how to songwrite and teaching them about syllables and samples. And it was dope being creative with these kids. And that was my opening to working with young people. As much as I've got 10 convictions, none of my convictions stop me from working with young people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And a lot of them are juvenile convictions. So, like I said, my last case was 2018. So that's what got me working with young people. And then from the mentoring stuff, it was good. It was good money, but it weren't sustainable. It wasn't enough hours to sustain me. So I looked at some other work. I thought to myself, I've got to keep trying this work thing. I'm not going back on to do what I used to do.
Yeah.
And then I became a support worker in a care home. I became a support worker, done that for a year. Then I left there, went to another children's home, became a support worker, and then just worked my way up to a senior, to a team leader, now deputy manager, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, before we continue with that, so that's an amazing story, is that how was you able to, because this is the hardest bit, yeah? How was you able to forget the fast and large money that was coming in now? Oh, damn, I'm getting this amount of money, it's not enough, and I'm being taxed for it. How did you fight that temptation?
Yeah, it's crazy, because what you make in a month, you used to make in a day, innit?
Yeah.
Like, you get me? I guess the temptation is just really realizing the consequences. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I've never been, and I don't want to go. So I'm not going to put myself in positions where I can go now. And I've always been a smart youth. Like I said, from young, even in school days where I was academic, and my behaviour might have not have been the best, but I was very academic, and that applies now. I'm smart. I'm smart enough for that way of life not to be my only story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I knew I could apply myself and do other things. So that's just what I done, and it just, for me, it worked out. It leveled up. Within 3 years, I've become a deputy manager, which I'm grateful for. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I look back and think, whoa, how did you get in that position, kind of thing? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, just perseverance, brother, and just really wanting to make a change and give back. You know, I think that's my thing. I think my purpose is actually just giving back to these youths. Do you know what I'm saying? Where man's lived a certain way, man can be a role model to show, look, there is a different route. You can take a different route and come out a different way. Do you know what I mean? So.
And going back kind of full circle, because these kids are in a care home now, right? So they're not with their parents around. So you are someone who grew up without your father being around. How could you kind of use that experience to kind of be that role model, guide these young people you work with now?
It's just like being a parent now. Like I said, I'm a father of 5, bro. Like you need to want for these kids what you would want for your own kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want them to go to school, you want them to be safe, you want them to be free from neglect, abuse, build relationships, you know what I'm saying? Just have the fair chance and opportunities that everyone else has, kind of thing. Just because they're in care doesn't mean they shouldn't. It's just that they've got a lot of trauma, a lot of underlying challenging behaviours, a lot of issues. But that's what man's there to do, just help them work through that and show them, like, it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you be the dictator of your story, and it's how you end, like, do you know what I mean?
Do you ever see yourself kind of running your own one day, like having your own franchise of these?
It's an option. I think for me, I'm probably looking into going into social work, maybe being a social worker.
Yeah.
Just staying within this industry and you know, giving back to the community. I might even get onto working with vulnerable adults, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think the young people's better because they're the next generation. If you can pattern the next generation to be right, then you're helping pattern society. Do you know what I mean? So.
And in the same instance, you're still continuing the music. I see you got a new release that come out not too long ago. Talk us through. Is that a project, album?
Yeah, I'm working on a new project right now called The Archives. It's basically like some music that I've been sitting on mixed with some new music. I've got a tune called Pioneers coming out with all the real rap all-star pioneers. I got some solo tunes coming out, featuring Sculpture coming out. I got some music coming out still, doing some bits. So just trying to balance the both. And obviously, like I said, where my life's different now, my music has to reflect my life and make sense. Can't be talking about some of the things that I used to do, and you know, because it's not that. So, yeah, man.
Do you feel that within the industry that you're overlooked for your, because obviously you jumped on, I'm not a rapper, but you jumped on the remix for Peck and Flow.
Yeah.
I thought you had one of the best verses on there.
Come on.
Yeah.
Listen, man know my thing. I was going to keep it 100. Like, man, I am overlooked, but even though I'm overlooked, it's not deniable man's ability. I was going to keep it 100. Like, I've been in this game a long time. I've worked with some of the best of them. I've had, you know, encouraging word from some of the best of them. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, I know my thing. I know my ability. And for me now, music's different. My journey in music's different. It's not before where it's like, you know, really trying to make a career out of it. I've got a career. I'm a deputy manager of a children's care home. Yeah. And I just said to you, I'm aspiring to be a social worker. So no plans of that was about music. Like, do you know what I mean? So for me now, it is just fun. I just love doing it, show my ability. I'm cool being the underground guy. Like, you get me? Your favorite rapper's not better than me. And that's that.
So, but who are you checking for right now in terms of the rap scene, in terms of the new generation of people now?
New generation.
And I guess there's even a newer generation coming now, because the people who had like your Daves and I guess your Fredos, they've reached an age now where they're kind of old school per se now.
Yeah,
and now there's even newer ones coming out.
Do you know what? I'm not even up to date with who's doing what right now. Yeah. Sometimes I can be in my own little bubble, just working on what I'm working with and doing my network pattern that I'm not really seeing the forefront. For me, it's the guys who have always been the guys. Like, you get me? Gets for me will always be like top 3 lyricists in the UK for me. Like, you know
is he your number one?
I'm going to say top 3. I don't want to say number 1. I don't know who's number 1 is.
So he's in your top 2?
I don't know. I'm in my top 2.
Because
I can't be nobody's fan more than my own fan, more than my own supporter. You know what I'm saying? I believe in my thing more than anybody else. And that's not no bossy thing. That's just the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, I respect everybody's thing and appreciate what everybody's, you know, what they contribute to the scene. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of it. What someone else is supposed to do is different from what I'm supposed to be able to do. And you know what I'm saying?
I hear it. So what would you say is kind of next for you now?
Next for me now, just more creative stuff. So I put out the album Transition in 2023. 2024 was a bit slow, only put out a couple bits, but this year, 2025, I'm back again, active again. You're gonna see more acting stuff, the project, the archives, and then obviously just, you know, doing my thing, giving back to the community again, starting some of my own projects and businesses that's also like giving back to the community, working with young people, just elevating, man. You know what I'm saying? Just being a positive, trying to be a positive role model for the young people then, you know?
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. And anything else you want to add?
Big up Bobby Kasanga, Big Ego Media, Hackney Big FC, done. No.
I appreciate it, man. That's another